In today's class, we will study a new topic, the Cantor set. It's an interesting terminology in the field of mathematical analysis. This Cantor set is named after the mathematician George Cantor. This is a set of points lying on a single line segment that has a number of remarkable and deep properties. It was discovered in 1874 by Henry John Stephen Smith and introduced by the German mathematician George Cantor in 1883. Now we will see how can we construct a Cantor set. We are starting with the unit interval, closed interval 0, 1, and for the time being let's call it f0. So we have closed interval 0, 1. Next, we have to divide this interval into 3 equal parts so that we will get 1 by 3 here and 2 by 3 here. Remove the open interval 1 by 3, 2 by 3 from this. So what remains is closed interval 0, 1 by 3 union closed interval 2 by 3, 1. We will call this set as f1. Now divide each of these two closed intervals into 3 equal parts so that we will have 1 by 9 here and 2 by 9 here. And 2 by 3 is nothing but 8 by 9. When we divide this interval into 3 equal parts, we will get 7 by 9 here and 8 by 9 here. Again, remove the open middle third from the first interval as well as from the second interval. So what remains is 0 closed interval 0, 1 by 9 union closed interval 2 by 9, 1 by 3 union closed interval 2 by 3, 7 by 9 union closed interval 8 by 9, 1. So we have union of 4 closed intervals. Again, divide each of these 4 closed intervals into 3 equal parts and remove the open middle third. And we will end up with f3, which is equal to closed interval 0, 1 by 27 union closed interval 2 by 27, 3 by 27, which is 1 by 9 union 6 by 27, 7 by 27 union 8 by 27, 9 by 27, which is same as 1 by 3 union 2 by 3, which is 18 by 27, 19 by 27 union closed interval 20 by 27, 21 by 27, which is same as 7 by 9 union closed interval 24 by 27, 25 by 27 union closed interval 26 by 27, 27 by 27, which is same as 1. So we have union of 8 closed intervals here. In the third step we have 8 closed intervals. In the second step we have 4, which is 2 square closed intervals, and in the first step we have 2 power 1 closed intervals. And we are continuing this process infinitely many times. Okay. So the Cantor set F is defined as intersection of all these fn's. So we will denote it by bold F. F is equal to intersection over n varies over capital N natural numbers fn. Okay, so here you can see the construction. Now we can note that f0 contains f1 and it contains f2, contains f3, contains etc. So actually when we take intersection of all these fn's, we will end up with something like limit of fn as n goes to infinity, something like that. Okay. Now we can see the beauty of Cantor set by checking what all properties Cantor set have. So the first property is the Cantor set is a closed set. How can we prove this? We are starting from f0. f0 is equal to closed interval 0, 1, and it is a closed interval, therefore it is a closed set in R. Now f1 is closed interval 0, 1 by 3 union closed interval 2 by 3, 1. Both of these closed intervals are closed sets, and this is a finite union of closed sets. Therefore it is closed, because we have studied properties of closed sets. You take any union of finitely many closed sets, it will be again a closed set. Union of finitely many closed sets is again a closed set. So here we have union of two closed sets, therefore f1 is closed. Similarly, f2 is the union of four closed intervals. So f2 is the union of four closed sets, therefore f2 is also a closed set. So by the same reason, Fn is closed for every n element of n, because this Fn is the union of 2 power n closed intervals. So finitely many, it's a union of finitely many closed sets, therefore Fn is closed for each n. Each Fn is closed. Now what is script f, or what is bold f? The Cantor set is intersection of all these Fn's, and each of these Fn's are closed sets, and we know that arbitrary intersection of closed sets is closed. You take any collection of, take an arbitrary collection of closed sets, its intersection will always be a closed set. So by that property we can say that the Cantor set is closed. Okay. So Cantor set is a closed set in R. Now the next property is that we are constructing Cantor set by removing successively open middle thirds. So the total length of removed open intervals is equal to 1. So in the first stage, when we construct f1, we will remove open interval 1 by 3, 2 by 3, which is of length 1 by 3. And in the second stage, when we construct f2, we will remove two open intervals, open interval 1 by 9, 2 by 9, as well as open interval 7 by 9, 8 by 9. So we are removing two open intervals, and each of them have length 1 by 9. So totally we are removing two open intervals with total length 2 by 9, 1 by 9 plus 1 by 9, 2 by 9. Okay, and we are proceeding like that. So we get total length of removed intervals in the second stage is 2 by 9, which is 2 by 3 square. So here we have 1 by 3, here we have 2 by 3 square. And in the next stage, to construct f3 from f2, we remove 4 open intervals, each of length 1 by 27. So the total length of removed intervals is 4 times 1 by 27, which is 4 by 27, which can also be written as 2 square by 3 cube. Okay, and so on. So the total length of removed open intervals is, in the first stage we have 1 by 3, in the second stage 2 by 3 square, in the third stage 2 square by 3 cube, and in the next stage we will have 2 cube by 3 power 4 plus etc. This is an infinite series. Take a 1 by 3 outside, so that we will get 1 by 3 times 1 plus 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3 square plus 2 by 3 cube plus etc., which is a geometric series. And this is a geometric series with first term 1 and common ratio 2 by 3. And we know that if R is the common ratio, if mod R less than 1, the geometric series converges, and the sum will be A by 1 minus R. First term by 1 minus the common ratio So we will have a 1 by 3 times a 1 by 1 minus r, which is 2 by 3. 1 minus 2 by 3 is 1 by 3. You can cancel 1 by 3 and 1 by 3 and we will get 1. Okay, so the total length of removed open intervals is equal to 1. Note that we have started from an interval, closed interval 0, 1, and length of this interval is 1. And we have removed, totally we have removed open intervals with a total length 1. Okay, we have started from an interval of length 1 and we have removed open intervals with a total length 1. And the next property says that the Cantor set does not contain any non-empty open interval. There is no open interval which is a subset of Cantor set. So suppose there is some open interval AB contained in F, where A is less than B. A and B are real numbers and A is less than B. Suppose that this open interval AB is a subset of F. Okay, but this Cantor set F is nothing but intersection over n varies over natural numbers Fn. So if AB is a subset of intersection of Fn, AB should be subset of each Fn. So we have open interval AB is a subset of Fn for all n element of natural numbers. Then the length of AB must be less than or equal to length of Fn. So we can say that length of AB is nothing but B minus A and length of Fn is 2 by 3 power n, because length F1 is 0, 1 by 3 union 2 by 3 1. So its length is 2 by 3. And in the next stage we will have 4 intervals. For F2 we have 4 intervals, each of them have length 1 by 9. So 4 times 1 by 9, 4 by 9, so 2 by 3 square and so on. So length of Fn is 2 by 3 power n. So B minus A will be less than or equal to 2 by 3 power n for all n element of natural numbers. Okay, so actually B minus A is a lower bound for this set of all 2 by 3 power n, where n varies over natural numbers. But infimum, which is the greatest lower bound of this set, is 0. So B minus A must be equal to 0. That means the open interval AB is nothing but empty set. So there is no non-empty open interval which is a subset of the Cantor set. Okay. Again, we told that we have started with an interval of length 1 and we have removed open intervals whose total length is 1 to construct Cantor set. Still the Cantor set is an infinite set. Started with an interval of length 1, removed intervals of total length 1, still it is an infinite set. So how can we prove this? We know that 1 by 3 is in 1 by 3 will be in the Cantor set, 1 by 3 square, 1 by 9 will be in the Cantor set, 1 by 27 will be in the Cantor set. So every element of the form 1 by 3 power n is an element of the Cantor set bold F. Okay, this is true for every n element of natural numbers. So Cantor set must be an infinite set. Actually, in fact, this Cantor set is an uncountable set. We are not proving it here. Simply we have proved that it is an infinite set. This is not a finite set. Cantor set is not a finite set. Actually it is an uncountable set. So again I will say, we have started with an interval of 1. We have removed intervals of total length 1. Still it is an uncountable set. So see the beauty of Cantor set. So with this our third module is over.